Welcome, my dear students, to this English class with me, with your tutor, that is Atsinyo Sekose. And today we are going to take a look at one of the topic under writing section, that is poster writing. And this is something new for you, so I am sure you are wondering as to how to go about with it. But I'm telling you, you already have lots and lots of materials to use for your poster writing from the previous lessons that we have discussed so far. So this is going to be something like a revision, and if you can follow the format that is given, you would find it on page 88. So if you can look at that format and practice, then it would not be as difficult as it appears. So here, let's talk about the main things that you need to remember while drafting a posters. W, posters for starters, in fact. So since a poster writing is introduced to you for the first time, as a starters, how do we go about with it? And why? Let's take a look at the W here. Why do we write posters? We write it to inform, to create awareness, extend, invitation, notices, etc. So that's what we have here. That's why we write. I'm sure you would have noticed, especially in main towns, you would find that along the side of the road, there are lots of hoardings or billboards or signboards for that matter. And on those signboards, you might notice some advertisement being put up or some informations that are being put up. So that is the reason why we draft, or that is the reason why we put up posters, to create awareness. Maybe you have seen some posters that create awareness. For instance, you don't need to be a superhero to donate blood today. See, those kind of things that you may find on the roadside. Then it is also used to extend invitation. For instance, maybe the government is going to celebrate the Republic Day and some hoardings or billboards are being put up. Or for that matter, cleanliness drive. So extending or giving out notices for cleanliness drive in your colony. So for all these kinds of purposes, we draft posters. Now, let's take a look at the features. So under the features, we have the first thing that we have is layout. What does layout mean? It means that the poster should be visually attractive. So in order to make it attractive, you can use different kinds of ways. You can use color, you can use captions as been used here, captions or bubbles, and it should be catchy title, and it should jingle. What does it mean? It should sound good, it should look attractive, and it should sound good. So as I was preparing for this lesson, what I figured is that it would be best to have a look at this poster and to see the features as well as we go along. So posters for starters, something that would attract the readers. You know, the whole point of drafting a poster is to attract the readers. And in fact, in our previous class, we have also learned in the Toasted English that people need not stand and read the whole thing. So the only important things goes into it. So the title is very important. It should reflect what we are going to put out. So that's what we have here. Now, if you are thinking that, oh no, but I still do not know how to come up with a very catchy title, remember, we have already discussed a lot of things, and you can use those lessons to create one. For instance, I can suggest that you also try from the lesson Rip Van Winkle, there is also an exercise about poster writing. And you would find that it is supposed to be a poster for a wanted poster. And you would find all the instructions there. So the material, the lessons that we have discussed so far, you would find it in that. We would be discussing that more in detail. Now let's take a look at the next point under layout, sketch or simple visuals. Use simple visuals. For instance, you can draft it in such a way that you make a margin or a box, and that is itself will become a simple visual. You can also use something, an image, a picture or a sketch that is relevant to your topic. So that's what we have here. And the next thing that you need to remember under layout is fonts of different shapes and size. What do we mean fonts? You can just simply take a look at the writing style here, the size of the letter W compared to the smaller letters. So these are the sizes of the letters. So you can also, in order to highlight the important things, you can also make your alphabets bigger or smaller, or write it in different styles, maybe in italics, or maybe within a caption, in fact. So that is how you can go about with it. Now, the next point is content. Under content, what do we have? We have theme, we have subject. In other words, theme or subject. What is the main poster about? Is it about a notice? Is it about a cleanliness drive? Is it about jumble sale? Jumble sale is when you brought all the used items, it can be household items or used clothes, to sell it out, old stuffs. So is it something like that? Or you can, if it is along that line, you would be required to give what along that theme? Or why is that jumble sale being held? Or what purpose is it going to serve? You can mention all those things. You can mention when and so on. So that's what we have here. Description, details of theme. Then essential details. These are the most important details that you would be required to enter in your poster writing. For instance, we have date, time, venue. So without this, your poster, if you are depending on the kind of the theme, you would have to give the date, time, and venue. And if these essential details are missing, you might miss the whole point of making a poster. Now, the next point that we have is names. Issuing authority. Who is giving out, or who is organizing the jumble sale, or who is going to organize the Republic Day parade, or you can also say who is giving out the notice. Maybe it is your school principal, or maybe it is your class captain, and so on. So issuing authority should be also given. So supposing, now this is a small snippet that I have here for space problem. We do not have a bigger one, but if you take a look at this, let's say that this is also your poster or your notice, and you would find that for issuing authority, you can put it on top, either on top or at the bottom. You have lots of samples, even in your textbook. I would suggest again later on where you can find more. So that's what we have here. Issuing authority, you must not forget this. Now the next point under features is expression. So what do we mean by expression? Expression here is simply referring to the language that you use, the kind of organizing and sequencing of content. Now, coming to organizing and sequencing of content, let's just study this poster right now. If, supposing, I start with expression here, without talking about why we write a poster, now I'm sure one needs to understand what is a poster first. So that's why the purpose of a poster is kept here first, or written here first. Then comes the expression. So this is the order, the sequence. And another example that I would like to suggest here is that, again, coming back to that poster writing about rib being missing or wanted, we can say, and in that, compared to the lesson that we have already learned under order of adjectives. You know, there is always an order to write things. I would suggest the page right now. So on page 42, you would find that you are required to write a poster of wanted poster. And you have lots of options there, in fact, clues there, height, build, age, face, eyes. Now think about it along that order of adjectives. Which one is supposed to come first? I'm sure you would be able to recollect. So see, your text is designed in such a way that you can refer from one lesson to another, and it is all, you would find that it is all very much interconnected, whether it is just a simple story or it has to do with your writing skills. So I would suggest you already have the materials, so I'm sure you would be able to work out this question. Now, coming back to under expression, so you would be required to organize, sequence the content according to what is more important should be brought up. Then appropriate language. Now we have also learned about toasted English, and we have also learned that the American English is being preferred over British when it comes to writing signboards or billboards or hoardings for that matter. So now, and it is also required, if we are to write it in passive voice or in a very formal language, too many details is also going to create a lot of confusion. So stick to what? Make it short and precise. In other words, try to stick to active voice. We would be discussing more in detail in the coming classes. Now, that is the expression, one of the point under expression. And now, the next thing that we have here is creativity. Under creativity, what do we mean? We mean here the way we are supposed to come up with the jingling title here, posters for starters, or maybe heroes don't litter. So coming up with such kind of creative writing, that's what we meant here under language. And design, we are talking about the whole thing here, that is the way you are presenting your posters. So, and the kind of picture or sketch that you included in your posters. So that's what we have here under creativity. So now, let's take a look again at the bigger picture of this poster. Here, I have given this poster writing, you would find it, all this information, you would find it in the textbook that you have, a multi-skill course text, and it is by NBSE. So let's say that this is the issuing authority, or they are overseeing to this textbook. So now, I have placed it here at the bottom in order to mention or give the impression that this is the poster for, in fact, a poster for poster. So that's what we have here. Now, under this kind of small captions, you can add further small details in your poster writing. For instance, how are we going to write a poster writing? Where would you find the material? I've mentioned here some lessons here. You would find it even in chapter 1, which I've already discussed, in chapter 5, 7, and even chapter 10. And you would find it on pages like page 24, page 126, and so on. So now we are going to take a look at some of the exercises that we have in your text. Page 24 we have already discussed, so I would suggest you turned the page to 126. And this exercise, you would find it right after the lesson, A Simple Philosophy. And in the lesson, A Simple Philosophy, you have learned so much about conservation. You have learned so much about environment. You have learned the importance of taking care of the animals, and so many things that I'm sure you must have learned, so that you can use it as your material, use it as your background study, and you can try these exercises. You can also have a look at that sample that you have there about conservation of water. So look at the title, Conserve Water, Conserve Life. Short, simple, precise, and it has a catchy title. Why? Because you are supposed to, at the first moment or at the first glance, when you look at the poster, you want to give out the message in a very short and precise manner. So that's why it is very important for you to come up with a very catchy title to attract people's attention. Now, so you can take a look at it in that way. As you noticed in that sample here, you would find that we have a very relevant sketch there. Every drop counts with a tap picture there. So it is very relevant to the topic, water. And now that's what we have here. So likewise, you should be drafting your posters in that manner. And as you can see in the bigger picture here, you would find that informations are given in a very short, precise manner. Only the important things are being written. So that's what you would have here. Now let's take a look at page 127 and take a look at question number 3. Exercise 4, question number 3. You are a part of the school dramatics club. You are looking for students to act in the upcoming annual school play. On behalf of the dramatics club, prepare a poster inviting students to participate in the audition. Audition. The poster should be catchy enough to make students want to attend the audition. Remember to provide all details. So if you are supposed to draft this kind of a poster, what is the purpose? You want to get people to involved in that drama club. So what do you have to do? You have to write it in such a way that it would attract people. What kind of things would interest them into this drama club? So all those things will give you an idea. And if you are still not sure what to do, I would suggest you refer to the lesson, that is the Bishop's Candlesticks. You know, that is a drama that you already have. So remember, I've already said that you know about a whole lot about posters. You have seen it on the roadside. You are learning so much about getting so much materials as to how to go about with it. So supposing here, let's say the drama is supposed to be based on the Bishop's Candlesticks. Now, what do you need? You need some actors and actress. So what kind of actors and actress do you want? So see, all those kind of things can fall under it. When is this audition going to take place? The details. And you can also give a picture of a mask, not the kind of mask that we are using these days, but a theatrical mask. That is what you can also try to draw to suggest that it is supposed to be a drama. And so see, all these kind of little things that you, if you think about it, you would find plenty to write about. And who is giving this, who is going to organize this school drama club? Or audition for that matter. You already have it there in your question, so you would find the issuing authority. So depending on the kind of questions that you are getting, remember to choose the language. You remember to choose what kind of a language should go with it. You know, in some cases, you may find that a very formal language is required. For instance, the example of conserve water, or compared to the example of jumble sale, it can be more casual, or a cleanliness drive, see? So depending on the question, you would have to choose the language wisely too. So that is one way that you can go about with answering your, or trying to write your posters. So now very quickly, let's try to find out what is the format of in fact, let's try to revise what is the format of a poster. And if you have this in mind, it would be very easy for you to draft one. So remember the purpose, and remember that the title should be catchy to attract people's attention. Remember why you are writing it. That will give you the ideas of, in fact, more content theme to your poster drafting. Then the main features are the layout. The main features under layout here is it should be visually attractive, catchy. You should have sketch or simple visuals, fonts of different shapes and size, as you can see. And content should be related to the theme or the subject, related to the question, in fact. Description, details of theme should be given. Essential details, especially to do with date, time, and venue. Then do not forget the names of the issuing authority. And expression, we are talking about language here, organizing it in a way that people would read it and understood it. The line of thought should be clear, in other words. Then appropriate language, choose appropriate language. Remember, depending on the kind of questions that you would be getting. Then creativity has to do with language as well as the whole layout, the design of your poster. And you can also use a lot of, in fact, you can also, if you have these kind of features, you would be able to do well with your poster drafting, in fact. And remember to use your practice, in fact, use your textbook and practice those questions that has to do with poster writing. You already have the materials, like I said, refer your textbook and try to draft one. If you are short of what to write, and if you feel that you are short of words, then think about the lessons that we have already discussed and draft it. You would find plenty of clues there. So on that note, we would be winding up today's class. Thank you all very much for joining me.